Last time on the Strings of Fate podcast, there is an unexpected composure on her face. And there is no fear whatsoever. She recognizes you.
I'm gonna trust, Azram, that you know what you're doing, and that it's nothing actually dangerous that you're going into. Okay, let's go to the Sleepy Sheep.
I know you're taking your time trying to figure out this little amulet deal. Well, let me give you a word of advice. I'm not trapped in the amulet. I'm here to help you get it off. I might not sound very helpful, but if you really want to know how to be rid of this, I suggest you listen to me.
I don't believe you.
You cannot believe me all you want. It's killed one. Let's see how many more. She stops, and Deville is stopped in his tracks as he looks down at the Dwarven woman. My foolish boy. I should have known that you'd be wrapped up in all this trouble. Silence takes the room as the pieces fall into place for everyone at different paces. Deville stands speechless, looking towards Granny, while she looks back completely unsurprised. And in their eyes, just for a moment, we see a young boy running along rooftops, a younger woman screaming her lungs off at him to get down. We see marketplace streets thrown into chaos by out-of-control Salankari, and a golden blur riding atop it, stopped by impatient vines. We see countless arguments and bickering followed by reconciliation over a warm stew and a view of twilight. We see every wound that's been bandaged and every heartbreak that's been comforted. Not even ascending to check in? I meant to. I meant to visit. Foolish blondie. Worrying me sick like always. She smiles. Better late than never, though. She begins to kind of take a deep breath as Deville suddenly is taken out of the moment, seeing all of you just looking on at this and says, sorry. Did you find her, Ladara?
Well, I was told to find her by Astrid. I didn't know that there was a connection there.
I did not realize that's who Astrid had told you to find. Deville turns towards you, Azram, and says, and then his eyes kind of dart to all his other companions, to Vincent on the couch. I didn't expect to make this introduction. This is Rowan. She raised me for a good portion of my life. I did. He's always been a fool, and a reckless one at that. But I raised him since he was just a little pup. She motions to just like this short,
Like hip,
I don't even know why I'm
like-
saying like hip height for her at this point. Deville says, if I could have a moment, Orion says, if I could ask for a bit just to catch up with my foolish son here.
Of course. Yeah. We'll get up, and I'm like, come on, Azram.
Azram, is a little in shock. He's not really sure if he should, what he should do. And so he's like, yeah, you guys have a moment. We'll go.
Thank you. No, we'll go. We don't want to kick out
Vincent
everyone
hasn't
in
gotten up
this
yet.
room.
Vincent's like,
We will... There's a bar downstairs, and Orion says, I mean, not the most sentimental setting, but sure, why not? You owe me a drink at this point, and fair enough.
As he's getting up and walking out, Azram would either grab his hand on the way out or grab his shoulder and just be like, let me know if you need anything.
He looks at you, then looks down at her. Granny, Rowan looks up at you. Just gives a knowing smile. And then Deville looks and says, of course. And we'll talk more later. Kind of looking between the two of you. And he just grips your hand tight for a moment, smiles, and then walks out with Granny. And as the door is closing, you just see Granny kind of just like give him a punch on the on his thigh. He's like, ow. And he's like, you have so much to tell me at this point. She kind of starts dragging him downstairs. The room kind of fills with silence.
Azram falls to the ground and is like,
That was his mother.
you found his mom? Was that on purpose or?
What a weird coincidence.
It is a weird coincidence because this morning, actually...
Spit it out.
Jason's kind of looking at you. He's like,
What?
Well, this morning, it's been a lot has happened today, and this morning I maybe
Yes.
found out about her and was going to maybe pay her a visit at 5 a.m.
And you didn't.
No.
That was it. This you have common sense.
Well, Dresden.
yeah. Things got in the way. And
Dresden's common sense. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
Dresden has common sense.
Well, I guess I was with her all morning.
Huh. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Okay. Well, a lot of shocking revelations, I see. Elise is standing there just stirring this pot
Getting all
of
the
food,
tea.
and it's whoop, just keeping her mouth shut. So it's just Dresden, Elise, and you three out there, I believe. There's a little squeaking that comes from the inside of Ladara's jacket for a moment, too.
Oh, God. And I pull him out. I'm like,
You see Ladara pull out just a full mouse from her jacket.
Oh, can I hold him?
I'll cast Speak with Animals.
Noises.
You can't speak with animals. Jeez, I've been trying to talk to you for the past hour. I've been
sorry.
making just banger comments out here and commentary and jokes.
Oh, I'm sure they were revolutionary. Well, I'm sorry, the spell wears off after a little bit. I can't talk to you all the time.
Wait,
Okay.
are you talking to the rat? The
Oh,
mouse?
this is Chester.
You said you cast a spell?
Yeah. I did.
What spell?
Speak with animals. So,
Wow.
this is Chester, everyone. Found him.
Yeah, they can't hear me right now.
No, they
I'm
cannot.
betting.
No.
All
Would you like
right.
to say anything?
I can't say anything. Let me pantomime, and he just kind of does like a little like da da da.
I meant that.
He does like a bow.
Ladara, he's so cute. Can I please hold him?
Sure. Take
Okay.
it. Would you like to say anything, Chester?
Wait, this guy looks just like the stinky guy.
Oh, no, he's not the stinky guy. He's a different guy. Different one.
guy?
They're brothers.
Oh, Auna. Okay.
He, like tentatively.
Azrim's like, did you just call Auna stinky?
Okay, no, well,
He's my brother,
I
Ladara.
did.
Sometimes he's stinky.
well,
He's like shaking his fist at you in your hand.
I'm like, why does this little rat look so angry?
what is he? What's going on in Chester's brain?
He's like sniffing around. Chester kind of looks back at you. He's like, actually, it smells pretty good, to be honest, compared to the other guy.
He didn't. I don't. It was Chester. I don't know. He said that Auna was smelly. He likes you, so you can hold on to him.
Okay, Azrim puts him on his head.
Yes, it's like a windstorm up here. Whoa! He's
Category 5 hurricane!
What's going on?
Maybe the shoulder.
Down the
Azrim.
hatches.
Maybe the shoulder.
Oh, does he not like it up there?
It's a little windy.
She's getting whipped by
It's
hair.
fucking windy.
All right, Azrim takes him down and puts him on his shoulder, but his hair still touches his shoulder.
He just kind of moves off to the side, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, this is good. This is better."
All right, so maybe we should all sit down and discuss what is happening.
Ladara, Vincent, and honestly maybe Dresden. No offense to your friends, Ladara, I don't really know them.
None taken. Honestly, I'll just finish this up over here.
Do you mind if the four of us just like,
Do you want me to grab Auna?
we can go into the room with Auna and leave them out here, at least
Okay.
cooking.
That's fine.
Azrim would like walk up to the door, knock and be like,
You knock on the door. Door sort of cracks open, and you see Auna fully clothed. Behind Auna, you can see that inside the room, James is there with another figure who is like lying unconscious in the bed. I says, "I'm dressed."
okay, maybe we should go to the other room.
Yeah, we'll go to the other one. I don't want to move Fenland.
Hey, Auna, dude, you smell great.
He just kind of blinks his eyes and it's like, keep it in mind. Thank you.
I heard that this rat called you Stinky.
He looks at the rat on his shoulder, just says, and I'd say it again too. I'll do it 1,000,000 times.
Chester,
But
only He said you smell a lot better.
Okay. He kind of pushes open the door and then closes it behind him and says, where did Deville go?
Oh, he's talking to his mom right now.
This, huh? Straight here, saying that. Is what?
Oh, Granny is apparently actually Deville's mother.
Wow. A lot of... Huh.
Yeah, small world.
Huh. Okay, can accept that.
And yeah, but we need to talk about everything that
lot of
happened
things.
today.
Oh, so many
I
things.
see. So let's talk. Did you want to go somewhere more private?
We can go
to the other room.
Sure. You all make your way into Vincent. It would be Vincent, Renair, and Ladara's room, I believe it was. Door, shut it. No other people besides you three.
And
Auna and Dresden are there.
is Vincent's sanctuary still casted?
Sanctuary is still up at this point.
For 24 hours.
Dope.
For
Nice.
24 hours.
It's around the whole sort of like living space.
Which is going to be weird.
Just
for,
the living space, not the rooms.
The whole thing.
Okay.
The whole
It's
place.
going to be weird for any of Geronimo Johnson's people that use that kitchen. They're going to walk in and be like, whoa. He stepped into through a barrier or something. But continue.
So Azram would first just go ahead and tell them everything about getting stopped in the street,
Yep.
Dresden, Geronimo Johnson,
Geronimo the Johnson.
the
Yeah.
Johnson, the reservation, everything. And he probably would have stopped around the time that the meeting started.
You all are able to catch up and tell each other about your days that you've had and everything that has led up to certain points. But Vincent and Azram, you sort of stop around the first meeting with Geronimo Johnson. As things get a little bit more difficult to explain here. As Dresden also is out of the loop on this, and of course Ladara and Alna have no idea as to what has happened, as you both are there.
So, yeah, there was a meeting, and we all sat down, and we were talking about these moon shards and the selling of them, and then all of a sudden it was like someone took over Geronimo's body, and then Azram just kind of like trails off, looking a little horrified.
Those porcelain masks, those people, they showed up and it was awful to watch.
The merriment.
Yeah. But you can see Vincent's like got his knees up to his chest again. He's like kind of making himself real small.
And
And then it changed.
Yeah. Dresden speaks up. And this is where things get a little weird. Because I didn't see any of that.
But you were there.
Yeah. I didn't see any figures with porcelain masks except the ones standing outside the Witchwood Market. None of them showed up in the meeting.
But he was there with you when you said that this horrible thing happened.
He was.
yeah.
We have reason to believe that we were intercepted by a higher being.
What? Where?
So we eventually, retire back to Elizabeth's office. And once we got there, I was paid a little visit by my patron.
Oh, okay.
He talked to me too.
Dresden's kind of blinking his eyes. Like, well, this is the first I'm hearing of this.
Well, right after this happened, Vincent almost killed someone.
What?
He's like squeezes his eyes shut.
So I didn't have a lot of time to debrief everyone. Plus, I didn't want to talk about it in front of Elizabeth.
It's fair. It's fair. I feel like I'm being left out of a lot of things, but
Well,
it's
I'm
fair.
telling you right now.
Okay, that's enough for me. It's enough.
So, backtracking. What? Wait, so, you remember this horrible event. You don't. Something,
Yes.
a higher being intercepted.
Presumably Azram's patron, yeah. Changed our timeline, I guess.
We've been told that she, for some reason, is trying to protect us and has a few times.
How did she change the timeline? So what ended
I
up
don't know.
happening? What?
We went back in time and we did the meeting over again, and
And
we
we-
changed it.
We just didn't. We called off the meeting. We got them to call it off and we left. Because if we went through it, we didn't want to see it again.
So, she was doing a favor.
Yeah. And I don't know why.
In this meeting, it wasn't her, I'm assuming.
No. It wasn't her we were meeting with it, and I don't know what it has to do with her. I don't think it has anything to do with her. I really don't know, and I don't know if she wants something in return or what. But it just, but I guess everything worked out for the better.
Has she done that before?
Yeah. with me.
What? Wait, with you?
I didn't even know it was her. But, yeah.
Okay, well, at least I was really worried for a second that we were... I mean, people are probably still watching us, but...
Azrim looks at his arm.
Ladara, your head
Oh.
starts to hurt. Just a sudden throbbing headache as for you suddenly start to remember this conversation going differently.
What?
It's only brief glimpses. It's a weird feeling of deja vu, but there is much more panic in that conversation as you see your friends blood-soaked and
Is the
in
timeline bleeding?
shock.
Oh my god.
Explaining this series of events without any intervention, and then you are back. The headache quickly fades.
All right.
Oh my god. What is going on?
You look over at Auna, who's also just blinking, like rubbing his temples as he looks up. Well, actually, no. I have to think about this. Would Auna? No, actually, Auna wouldn't. In terms of what I know, rescind all of that. Only you have the headache.
God. This has happened before.
What happened?
This conversation has happened before, I remember.
No, it hasn't.
Oh god. It's horrible. Blood. There's a lot of blood.
There was a lot of blood.
It was, yeah.
So that's how our morning went. Nothing like seeing a massacre at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is a really fucked up day.
Yeah.
First day in town.
Why is it always like this? Why can we not catch a break?
I thought we were having a pleasant time.
It started off so great.
The good thing is that we aren't wanted, and
No one's arrested.
and everyone's safe, and whatever timeline happened did not actually happen. And
Thank
so
God.
maybe we just take a deep breath
And chill out. Maybe we need to just...
and maybe figure out what we want to do. Because here's the thing. Do I want to mess with the Merrymen and the Ferrymen anymore? No, I don't. But do I want my arm healed? Yes. And if getting a moonstone is going to do that...
No. You can't do that. You can't.
What do you mean?
Well, Fenlin, you know, my friend who's laying
Sleeping
in bed.
in my bed, yeah.
He's not well. I would say you should probably take a look at his body, but it's pretty gruesome to look at. The moon shards did it to him. Dealing with the moonstones, he was forced to study them by the merriment. And that is why he is now currently incapacitated, so I'm trying to figure out a way to help him. But you need to be careful about the moonstones. That it's not good.
Azrim, like, collapses on the bed as a groan.
Doesn't too. It's just kind of like leans up and back against the wall. It's just like, ugh.
Don't you all remember what I took from Valentina's study?
Yeah, I knew it was, like, something to do with the moon, but is it a moonstone? Like, is it the moonstone? Because give it to me right now. I'll get these fucking eyes
No,
off my
what-
arm.
No.
Tristan's eyes kind of open. It's just like, what? What are you talking about?
You still have it right now.
He nods. He's not gonna pull it out, but it's there.
Jason looks at you and says, pull it out.
No.
Why not?
Vincent,
It's dangerous.
I realize, but I just want to see it. If it's the real thing.
We might need to check and make sure it is.
Do I trust Dresden?
Make an insight check.
What's 9 plus 6?
15.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll, but it's not. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's
Right.
rolling deception. Dresden is very serious about this. But it's not uncharacteristic of him, as he is very much hearing that after everything that you have all been talking about and everything that you've supposedly gone through today, that you might have something. He's suddenly just cutting through all the chaff. He's like, Vincent, I get it. It's dangerous. We don't know much about it.
We don't.
But you having one and just... I just want to confirm what I'm looking at.
I agree with Dresden. I think we should pull it out.
At least for a second, just to make sure. But don't touch it, anyone.
We've already touched it.
Except Vincent. Just...
How do I know that you're not just trying to get something for yourself and leave? This thing that I have, if it is real, I didn't intend to keep it.
I realize that you may have stumbled upon it without realizing what it is, but if what Ludar is saying is true, and her friend has also been studying this and it's put him in that state, then I am not of the mind to immediately dive into using it. But everything I've learned about this city points to having even a shard, even the dust of the moon, to being an offense punishable by death. And also a feat that has been described by many to be nearly impossible. And so I am just curious as to how you stumbled on this and if it's even the real thing.
Right. Just don't want you hurting yourself. And he goes over to where he put his bag down. The bag of holding. Pulls it out. Not the stone, he just pulls out the bag. Alright. Wanna see it? Sure. Puts his hand in, digs around for it, pulls it out.
You push your hand into the bag, envisioning what it looked like. This jagged, not shard, just a jagged rock. Luminescent and pale. And you feel your hand touch the jagged edge. You feel this overwhelming calm take your body as you begin to pull it out of the bag. The room itself begins to fill with this pale light that touches all of you, and you are all immediately just calm. A wave of just warmth, as if every pain in your body is not there. Every worry is clear from your minds as Vincent holds like a veritable chunk of the moon, filling this room. It combats the light, and it even joins with the light that is pouring in through the window as you all feel just stunned looking at it. Everyone make a wisdom saving throw for me,
Oh,
please.
I'm good at those. I'm real good at those. Great.
Okay.
14.
14. Okay.
8.
8.
23.
Okay. Everyone except Vincent, Azram, and Auna are considered like stunned. Like you can't speak, you can only stare at this and just bask in its light as smiles just creep across Ladara and Dresden's faces. Not like wide smiles, but just like...
This is what you wanted to see, right? Hello?
What's wrong with them?
It's beautiful.
Dresden?
Wow.
You
Ladara?
alright?
You see Auda just kind of fighting this feeling as everyone, you all feel this like immense sort of pleasure from just being in the light of this.
I shove it back in the bag.
You see Dresden's body just like kind of lurches forward and like at a grasp, but not violently, just kind of like...
Right. Yeah, I think it's real.
And Ladara, to explain this feeling, as soon as that light begins to leave, there's this immense desire to just stay in that light. It's almost as if he would do anything to just reach back in and grab it, but as soon as it's gone, it's gone.
You see her also, her hand kind of like, naturally kind of like goes towards it.
Okay. I believe you. Okay.
See what I mean?
That's dangerous.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep that in the bag for now.
Might be able to use that.
He looks at his arm for a moment. And realizes there's no good way for him to see it, as he's just puts it down and says, "That didn't look like a shard. That's just depending on how people were talking about it, what you have in your bag could be valued at millions of gold."
Yeah. I don't know how Valentina got it, but...
Do you think we could use it? It's like some sort of leverage?
Oh, definitely.
For who?
For
what?
I don't know, but
For something.
I have no use of this. This doesn't belong to me.
Well, my friends need help. They're trapped.
Wasn't this exactly what got one of them into problems
Yes,
in the
but
first place?
they're trapped in the merriment, right? Maybe we can use it against the ferrymen.
You could buy their freedom, or
Something like that. I would... Maybe.
yeah.
And give the ferrymen more of the thing that they're hurting people with?
If we can do it in a way that we don't actually have to give it to him, we can trick him in some
The
way.
baiting switch?
Yeah, but if they know we have it, then we're going to become one of the biggest targets for them.
They can't
So-
know that we have it for...
Well, then how are we going to use it as leverage? If they don't know we have it, and we don't give it to them.
If we don't give it to them, then they're just going to follow us forever.
I don't know.
I just think if we don't have any use for it, then we should find a use for it.
I was going to give it back to the temple because they're the only people who know how to use it.
I just think that there are some situations that we may be able to solve a little bit easier if we had a little bit more leverage. So
What?
as much as I want to be a goody two-shoes and give it back to the temple, unfortunately,
I don't think we need it for anything right now. And I think if we give it back to the temple and we have good graces with them, maybe if we give this back to the temple of the healers who could probably help you too, and even your friend, if we give this back to them, we get in their good graces, they might be willing to help you. And they know how to use it.
we also don't know how they're going to react with us showing up with it, though.
Of course,
mean-
which is why I've been keeping it hidden.
Who's going to say they're going to believe that you just stumbled upon this?
Maybe we should ask Granny.
also, we are right now being framed for the entire downfall of Weldon. And we show up in this city with a big-ass moon rock. I think I agree with Dresden. I don't think they're going to think that we just stumbled across this. And after our outbursts in the temple this morning, I think it's going to be a little bit harder to convince them to be on our side. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't give it to them, and I'm not saying we should give it to the ferrymen, but I think that we should realize that we are not aligned with either. And
I know that. I've been keeping it hidden for a reason. Not stupid.
I never called you stupid.
Okay. All right. Auna speaks up. I think I agree with both of you. I agree with Ladara, too. There has to be a way we can use this. I can't think of one. It's going to take someone smarter than me, maybe Granny, like you said, Ladara. But keeping it hidden, if it really is that dangerous, is our best bet. And formulating something when we're all in better spirits, he says, as he kind of straightens up. It's clear that we've all had very long days. I think it is unwise of us to continue to prolong our days without taking a step back.
I think you're right. We can sit on this information and work together to try and come up with the best solution to help us. We can talk to Deville about it. I'm sure he would have more insight for us and Granny.
We've got to keep this a secret between at least the people here and the people we trust.
Yeah, word can't get out.
None of them out there, I think, should know.
I won't tell any of my friends.
I agree.
Okay, Berzin says. It doesn't leave this room.
I'm sorry, Dresden.
It's fine.
I'm sorry to both of you. I'm sorry for shattering the image that you had. I want to help you guys too. And I don't want you to think that I would try and choose them over you or in any sort of way. I just want to help all of you.
I mean, am I disappointed? This morning, I thought that there was a possibility that everything could be solved, and now we're back to ground zero. So
I don't think the possibility's gone. I think it's just a little more complicated than we originally thought. Thank you, Odar. I understand. Okay, he says as he sort of stands up. Let's raise spirits, shall we? Why don't we, I don't know, go crash Deville's reunion and get a drink?
That sounds great.
Auna sort of looks at Dresden. I don't actually know if they actually formally introduced each other.
Oh, yeah, no.
They sat down as Dresden looks and said, it kind of leans towards Adjnor and was like, is that the guy? I mean, I guess it is because he looks exactly like you.
does it look like the guy, you fucking
Yeah,
idiot?
it looks like the guy. He's so...
Hot, cool. I know, he
I'm
looks
not going to
just like
talk
me.
about it. He says as he's, as Auna's like, leans over to Ladar's like, why are they looking at me and whispering?
Oh, Dresden. This is Auna.
Oh, yeah, I meant to. Sorry, I just got wrapped up in everything. I didn't introduce myself. How rude of me. Dresden, it's very nice to meet you. He says as he extends his hand, and Auna looks and says,
Literally like nudges him. He's like, shake his hand. It's okay.
and you trust this person?
No, with my life.
Vincent? Azram shoots a very pointed
Ladar
look.
also looks at Vincent. Yes, I do.
Hardly.
Dresden's eyes kind of go wide as you say, with your life, and he's like,
With my life too. I've trusted my life with him multiple times, actually.
Oh. So as you can see, and Aona, before you can finish, just kind of firm handshake, just, okay, then I trust you too. And then kind of pulls him in. It's like, but I'm keeping an eye on you. As Jason says.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Aona, it's okay.
Sorry, was that uncalled for?
No, it's a little protective.
I understand the it's a new person. You've never met them, but once a little conversation, maybe you'll ease into it. It's all right.
Okay, all right. There's a lot of tension. Let's go.
Let's go downstairs. Yes, shall we?
Before, as everyone's kind of filtering out of the room, and I assume that Vincent is kind of like in behind or lagging behind or
Not going to go.
You kind of see that Vincent is just on his own.
His face is like, he looks upset. He looks like sad.
And after every issue that's been presented to you in this past hour of DeVille meeting his mother and the Moonstone being real, the conversation you had after Vincent had left suddenly comes to mind. And that's where we'll take a break. Hey there, softies. It's me, Christian, with the break. I hope you are enjoying episode 48 of Soft Pod. We are getting very, very close to the 50 mark and are ready for the 1-year anniversary next week. Let's start things off with a message from our sponsor, Dungeon Depths. We are collaborating with Dungeon Depths once more for another fantastic giveaway. Right now, you can go to our social media to enter to win a beautiful hexagonal dice tray themed around Softpod and Moonlighters. Head over to our Instagram and Twitter right now to enter to win an amazing piece of Dungeon Depths merchandise. But if you are new to the channel and you are not sure who Dungeon Depths is, first of all, bold of you to start at episode 48, though I like it, non-traditional. Let's keep going. Dungeon Depths is your one-stop shop for gaming supplies with character. Quality gaming supplies with character. Can't forget the quality, because there is a lot of quality packed into these products. That is dice vaults, dice trays, you name it, honestly. You can check out their wares at shopdungeondepths.com, and you can use the code SOFTPOD at checkout for 10% off of your order. So thank you for sponsoring the show, Dungeon Depths, and thank you for another amazing giveaway. This show is also a part of the Roll20 Spotlight. You can go right now to roll20.net to sign up for their virtual tabletop, which you can use to play any kind of TTRPG across the world using the internet. So thank you for sponsoring the show, Roll20. Speaking of sponsoring the show, this show is also sponsored by you, the viewer. Our patrons are a huge part of why we can still do this, and we would not be here without them. So I'd like to take some time to thank our honorary Bard patrons and to let you know that we will be having some deleted scenes coming out soon because we have such a backlog and we go overboard sometimes. Thank you to Cedar, Nirja, Marika, Orion Arthur, Obsolete Goat, the Beetle Bard, and Sparrow. Thank you all for being amazing patrons. You can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thestringsofFate. But another way that you can support the show is by giving us a rating on whatever podcast service you're listening to this on, or liking the show and commenting down below if you're on YouTube. Your comment prompt today is to name a snag racer. Just go ahead and throw a snag racer name out there. You know how amazingly they're named, like Geronimo Johnson. I think it'd be really fun to see what other weird and wild names people can come up with for snag racers. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you want to watch live with us, be sure to join the Softcord. That's right, it's the Strings of Fate community Discord server. We have a ton of fun there, and we talk about all sorts of things, but we also watch the show together whenever it premieres live on YouTube and on our podcast platforms, and so please come and join the fun. It's really a great time. We're still working on issues with the art reels, so please bear with us. We are not very adept with video editing softwares in terms of melding two formats together, so it's going to take a little bit more time. But thank you for all the fan art. We really appreciate it, and we really do want to showcase it at some time soon. Anyways, I think that is everything from me. So, kind of a shorter break today, but that means you have more time to enjoy the episode. So, have a nice day. Enjoy the episode. Bye-bye. We cut back to over an hour ago, back in the temple district of Lunastra, back in the central temple that spires towards the sky with massive stained glass walls filtering moonlight to the rest of the city. And within its labyrinthian halls, we find ourselves in an office located in what is known as a demiplane, an extra-dimensional space. Elizabeth sits on the couch with the people she has experienced. Terrible and unexplainable things within just the span of a day. Dresden, Deville, Azram are all there. Tea set in front of you, small cakes and such all on a stacked towered platter, as a chair has been pulled up by this older woman who has invited you to sit, to talk with you. My name is Rosanov Singe, and I am the headmaster of the Lunastra campus of the Magus Academy. An offshoot of the one in Siniath. You may know it. Run by
The Black Staff?
Vajra Safar.
Oh, I know her well.
But for these purposes, I will introduce myself as a former member of an adventuring group by the name of the Swords of Fortune.
Has Azram heard that before?
Once pre-podcast, you have heard the name thrown around, and you've known Vincent to have researched this group, though in terms of their exploits, in Siniath, they're not super reported on. We were sellswords. We were paid to do quests, and we went and we accomplished them, and we gained glory through combat and through saving people and helping people in whatever way we could. There were 4 of us. Kassan Hartor, a paladin of the Morning Lord. A Gondor Nifil, an accomplished rogue from the Principalities. Hjolnar Fibrin, a barbarian tribe leader from the Boreali. And me, a graduate of the Magus Academy from Siniath. This was quite a long time ago at this point. But we were a ragtag group trying to make a name for ourselves coast to coast throughout the nations. But our final task is the one that would gain us notoriety. We saved a principality city from the encroaching threat of an archfey. There is a phenomenon that's still quite unknown to even the greatest scholars of the storied Citadel. It's something that I actually specialize in in terms of planar studies. That of planar bleeds, where the fabric between realms begins to tear and overlap. The most recent example, though I have not been there to study myself, though it seems to show all the symptoms of being one, suspected to be the Onsirian town of Weldon.
Also know a lot about that one.
She looks and sort of curious for a moment and then catches herself. In my time as an adventurer, there was one other such bleed. One that was much more seemingly innocuous, yet nonetheless sinister. A forest clearing filled with beautiful violet flowers. And at the center of this peaceful scene, one of the most powerful beings that have walked upon Afra's soil. An archfey by the name of Tuaria. They possessed the people of this nearby principality city of Viala. Promises of wealth and gifts from another world, and all the while their power grew as they became accustomed to this plane. It was only a matter of time before they lashed outward. The Fae are cruel and manipulative. They toy with you and drag you along, promising exactly that which your heart desires, before tearing it out of your hands and enacting a terrible cost. That cost was coming for Viala. My companions and I could see it in their eyes that there was a spell cast over them. So we took it into our hands to vanquish the foe, but they were powerful. Thus, we had to find another solution, procuring an artifact instead to seal the foe. The Fae work under conditions, and the stronger the condition or drawback, the stronger the effect of a spell. To create an artifact to seal an archfey, we need to make a powerful contract with powerful conditions. We would seal the archfey in an amulet of ruby, where it would roam Afra no more, its powers suppressed within, but it would still have agency. And in that form, the condition became that it would still be able to possess someone if they were to put it on. From there, should we die by the hands of the amulet wearer, the seal would be broken and Tuaria freed. We thought ourselves clever. We would seal the amulet away in a vault in the sovereignty, then go off and live our lives separately and in peace. But 2 years following the incident, something unprecedented took place. The vault, which was supposed to be impenetrable, was raided. The possessions inside stolen. The amulet was lost to us. My companions, we gathered one last time to seek out where it could have gone through any possible magics, but it was unattainable. And then, years after that, silence. And then, my companions began to turn up dead in Siniath. Kassan and Agondor both struck down. If that man is who I think he is, I'm sure I do not need to continue. And Elizabeth sort of speaks up and says, Mother, what are you talking about? You must be mistaken. I know he was acting strange earlier, but I know who he is, and he's a kind soul. He wouldn't do something like that. And Rozanov sort of looks and says, That's right. There is one other complication to this. Forgive me for this, my dear. She says. She sort of stands up and does like a little brushing of Elizabeth's face. And you see just a light on Rosanov's hand as Elizabeth's mind goes blank for a second and says, "You were called away to go help with some of the patients, offer an extra hand over in a different ward, whereas I am speaking with these companions of your friend because Fajr Safar had talked about them, and I'm quite interested to learn about them. None of what you heard in the past few minutes you will recall." As she sort of blinks her eyes and says, I'm so sorry to leave you all in this time. I'm glad that you're getting along, though. If you see Vincent again," Elizabeth looks towards you, Azram, "tell him that he can visit his partner whenever he would like, just that I may be too busy to see him myself. Just ask at the front desk."
Okay.
She smiles, and Elizabeth leaves the office, as Rosanov said. An unpleasant thing I had to do, but necessary. My daughter, she has a connection to him that I did not expect.
What connection?
It was a strange twist of fate to learn this myself, but there was a time long ago where they would be considered family. The man that brought Elizabeth to me all those years ago. He was once his father as well. I have not too sure of the situation, but there are some difficult feelings there for her.
What man? Where is he?
I'm not sure. He stopped writing a few years back. Anyways, all this to tell you that your friend's life is in danger. If he is to carry out the amulet's will and strike each of us down, it will end in the loss of his own. The archfey inside that amulet has been festering hatred for decades. And it will be set upon the world, your friend, the Catalyst. I need an opportunity to get the amulet off of him. But I realize that seeing me may overpower him with bloodlust. Most likely a shared desire for revenge imposed on him by Tuaria. Which is why I need your help, he says, looking at all three of you. She pulls a small bracelet with crystalline beads from a bag of holding. The crystals in this bracelet resonate with the same frequency as that of the Feywild. Placing it on his wrist will suppress any Fey magics and manipulation that may threaten to overtake him, allowing us to be in contact. Once this is on, I can explain all of this to him, and we can begin the process of removing the amulet.
How do I know that you're not going to just try to kill him or something?
I have no desire to see any more bloodshed because of that creature. To kill him would not end the amulet's influence. It would only prolong the fated path that we are already on. Would twist it further to somehow she shakes her head.
So just get him to wear the bracelet.
Tell him to wear the bracelet. And when it's on, I will know. And I will contact him.
Okay.
And we cut back to the present scene. The crystals of that bracelet in your pocket. The weight of it extremely heavy. Just there. Just the weight of the story that was told to you contributing.
Azram probably would have, as everyone was leaving the room, stayed behind with Vincent. Where is he right now? Where is he sitting?
He would have, so he pulled the moon rock out on the floor. I think he probably just would have stayed there. And as everybody's leaving, he looks up at Azram and he's like, what?
Azram comes and sits down on the floor with him. I learned a little bit while I was in Elizabeth's office, retrieving Dresden and Deville.
About what?
About you. And the amulet.
Right.
It's not my place, really, to explain exactly, but Elizabeth's mother, that woman in Elizabeth's office, she says she wants to help you. And
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
There's a grip of doubt on your heart.
Yeah. What?
Everything she said to me, it all made sense. And I don't know a lot. Like I haven't always been there when things in the amulet have gone up, and we haven't talked about it. But she's a part of that group that you're always researching.
I know.
And everything she explained to me, it lined up. It all made sense. The effects that she said you would be having, and she seems pretty confident that she could help.
The last time I tried to talk to one of them, they tried to kill me. And with good reason, too.
Oh, I'm not going to let her kill you. The good thing is that whenever you're ready, she gave me something. She gave me a bracelet that is supposedly supposed to...
More jewelry.
I mean...
What is it supposed to do?
It's supposed to...
he's like...
It's supposed to calm you in a bit so that when you see her, you don't try to attack her. She doesn't seem to hold any of it against you. It seems like she knows that it's the amulet. And so she gave me this bracelet, and Azram pulls it out of his pocket. And you don't have to put it on right now if you want some time to think about it, but whenever you're ready to talk to her, this is apparently it. And I'll be there, and I can get Deville or Dresden or Alana to also be there so that we can make sure that you don't lose control.
You're being really nice to me right now. He takes the bracelet. Doesn't put it on, but he just holds it.
Believe it or not, Vincent, I'm a nice guy. And we're friends.
Right.
And I don't want you to have to deal with this anymore.
Thanks. Elizabeth was my sister.
I heard. And
I don't remember her. Not really.
do you think if you get the amulet off that you might?
I mean, it's possible. All of my memories from before, 8 years ago? Almost blank. So.
Do you remember a man? A father figure?
Yeah, I do.
Hmm.
Vaguely. But, yeah,
And Archie was there?
I think.
And Elizabeth was there?
Yeah, that's what Archie told me.
I'm sure it'll come back to you soon. Well, you've had a long day, so if you want to stay back, I think everyone would understand, or if you want to get your mind off things, you know where to find us. Hazard gets up, kind of starts walking out, and then he'd probably stop before he gets to the door and be like, also, Elizabeth said that you can visit Renair whenever you want. Just go to the front desk and ask.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Of course. Azram walks out.
The door shuts behind Azram, moonlight pouring in from the outside, framing you in this dark room as in that glow, the crystals on this bracelet glitter and shine. And there is a slight dread over you looking at it. But the choice is yours.
Not right now. No, I don't think I'll put it on right now.
What do you do?
What time around is it?
It's around evening at this point, I would say.
Okay. I think he doesn't really know much about meditation or how like clerics commune with their gods or how to talk to higher beings at all. But I think he really wants to talk to Tuaria.
Sure.
So I think he's going to do whatever he knows about, I don't know, peace of mind, and maybe get on the bed and lay backwards, stare at the ceiling. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but...
Do you say anything?
I know you've been quiet recently, but I think we need to talk.
Make a wisdom check, please.
Wisdom check.
Wisdom check.
14.
You stare up at the ceiling, breathing deeply, trying to be as mindful as possible. Listening out for a voice like the potent and piercing one that Astera had provided so clearly in conversation with you. Listening out for anything. For a moment, there is a space between being awake and dreaming, where you hear the sounds of a crowd, you hear the sounds of a child crying. And a voice echoes. Are you lost? And you wake up.
Did I recognize the voice?
With fortune? It's familiar to you.
And he'll get up. Shakes it off. He shakes his hands out. And he's like, all right, okay. It can wait. It can wait. Just, I'll deal with it later. You'll deal with it later. Okay. And he will gather himself and walk out of the room and go downstairs.
And as your party all makes its way downstairs to relax after a tumultuous day, that's where we'll end.